among all economic issues, when you ask, is the economy the issue? It's number one. And then for singular issues, the border is number one. Depending on how you look at it, the economy actually means a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Because Gallup actually broke it down. We're talking about homelessness. We're talking about wages. We're talking about rent. We're talking about, can I afford a home? Those are all different things within the economy. Immigration, I'd argue, actually is a component of the economy as well, because we're wondering about this homelessness.
100%.
So if you were to remove the idea of general economy and ask someone, are you concerned about wages? Nowhere near immigration. Immigration is the top singular issue.
It is, because it's affecting every single community in America, right? They pulled the Band-Aid off 3 years ago, and they said, the Biden administration said, there's no invasion, there's no national security crisis down there. And the mainstream media lied for 2 years. And now that it has literally flooded the country, and Americans are unfortunately seeing its tragic impact. For instance, CCP fentanyl killed 100,000 people last year. 100,000. That in and of itself is a national crisis. The FBI director and the DHS secretary came out to Congress 3 months ago and said, we caught at least 24 known foreign terrorists, and we let them go, and we don't know where they are today, which means they don't know the real number. And we have people coming in across the border and doing, unfortunately, tragic criminality like killing Lincoln Raleigh. And in my hometown of Vegas, 2 guys got murdered, just literally walking down the street by an illegal alien. Elderly women are getting raped.
This happened in West Virginia.
Yeah.
It's huge news, because crime in West Virginia is slightly above half of the national average, meaning it's like 56% of the national average. You expect to be safe. People here are armed, and an illegal immigrant in Charlestown, he killed an old lady. Is that what it was? What was that story?
She wasn't that old. I mean, I thought she was in her 40s, but
Middle-aged woman.
Middle-aged woman. Like, the thing is, it's also small town vibes, right? Like, someone who is not from here comes in, commits violence, and can just escape. That was the problem with Lincoln Riley, which is that he was known to be in the country illegally. He had a previous criminal history in other states. And they were sort of like, we don't know what to do. Oh, well.
Well, because the mainstream media and the Biden administration and the Democrats for years had said there's no criminal problem. It's fine to be an illegal alien. And it's part of their the process to inject another rig job into an election by allowing, 10 plus million people so far. Half of them are getting voter IDs. People are getting hotel rooms. No, right. You don't even know the number, right? And that's the sad part. And that's what it took, though, for America and the world to pay attention to Donald Trump's effective policies on the border and to say he was right the entire time.
I'd love to ask him about the Help America vote verification system. You saw that story? I think it'll be too in the weeds for him as an individual.
Yeah,
I'll probably try to just mention it to him. But this is probably something for someone who's working on his campaign. This is, for those that don't know.
I wish there was. Wait.
The Social Security Administration showing a million plus people without IDs trying to register, and we don't have a clear answer as to what this is. It could be voter roll cleanup. Fine, sure, whatever. That would be an abuse of the system. Fine, sure, whatever. Some people are concerned it's non-citizens being given work permits, and then when they're granted tax ID numbers, TINs, or Social Security numbers for the purpose of work permits, someone, be it they themselves or NGOs or the federal government, are registering them. We don't know. I'm content to say it must be voter roll cleanup, an abuse of the HAVV system as per their own rules. But maybe that's it. Great. We need an inquiry. This should be looked into, because in the event it's not, we need to deal with it now before November.
No, you're right. In my home state, Nevada, it's not sexy. It's like the debt. Like, people are like, oh, who wants to register voters? Who wants to go clean the voter scrolls? And I'm like, no, I agree with you. We actually filed lawsuits in Nevada last week to do just that, and the Democrats are challenging it.
Of course,
to track the HAVV
to clean the voter rolls, as you're saying, like make sure dead people aren't on it, make sure people that are on it are of age and are legal and can vote and all that.
I agree with that for sure, but I'm very concerned about what we're seeing with the Help America vote verification system. Notably, February 17th of this year in Missouri, let's pull up Missouri, 78,421 attempted registrations for people with no IDs. 23,000 were dead. Mm-hmm. So 23,000 are dead. And the response was that it's voter roll cleanup. That's fantastic.
Didn't one of the states come out and say, no, that's
Texas,
not what we're doing? Yeah.
Texas said this is clearly a misunderstanding of some sort. These numbers are wrong. So let me jump to Texas week. I think we can do like May 4th. Texas reports every 2 weeks. May 4th was light. Let's see May 18th for Texas. I think it might be light as well. 4,000. Still decently high. But if we go earlier in the year, April 20th, let's see where they're at with Texas. We've got 249,770, of which 4,600 were dead. 200,000 came back as single match alive. So Texas said we are not doing voter roll cleanup. And these numbers are incorrect because we have not added that many people to our voter rolls. Whatever is happening here, we need a formal inquiry, nothing crazy, just to be like, oh yeah, here's where the numbers came from, here's why they're here, and then we know. Because if we don't do that, you've already got people feeling like, if it's Texas, what makes sense for Texas? They're not doing voter roll cleanup? Then where are I think we're at 1.9 million people registering coming from? Well, I know where there's a big number over the past year that reaches around those numbers of people that may be coming here. Many people believe it may be illegal immigrants being given work permits. And then the NGOs just submit that for voter registration because there's a social security number attached to it. I don't know if that's true. All I know is this is the kind of thing that has people freaked out, especially the 30,000 dead in Missouri. And we want to know, we want to know formally and officially what it is. Texas comes out and says, we don't know what that number is. If Texas and Missouri, if Trump wins every swing state and Texas and Missouri by narrow margins flip, Trump loses.
Oh, yeah, overnight. And, this is the thing that I've been trying to tell people about for the last, 5 years now. State attorney generals and state secretaries of state control these issues. And that is why people are like, oh, how come we didn't fix this federally? I'm like, you can't fix it federally. It's impossible. You have to rely on these state AGs to bring lawsuits to clean voter rolls. It's not cool. It's not fun. It's not the thing that gets headlines. But that's why that's why I was yelling at Republican state AGs to be like, why aren't you prosecuting Hunter Biden in, say, Missouri for committing crimes? And the Democrats would do it overnight. But it's the same thing, whether it's the voter thing or the criminality thing. The state AGs, for the most part, have been very quiet on the Republican side. And I literally have no idea why. I don't know.
Do you think it's like election concerns? Because with all of this, it really matters who's in our voter rolls. It matters who's in our country. And I think there is a level of people don't want to talk about the issues that they think might risk it. Like for me, I think we should talk about the border. I think we should talk about the effect of illegal immigration. But I do think we should have a conversation about reducing the pathways for legal immigration because they become abused, like chain migration. If someone were to cross into the border illegally, have a child here, I think we should end birthright citizenship. You could then use that person to sponsor tons of people. We should limit it maybe to an immediate family. But when you start talking about it, it's very easy for a Republican to get labeled as like a heartless person. You want to separate families. Yeah. You're me. You're hurting the American dream. It's sort of, to me, it seems like it's a question of, well, maybe I can stay in office and do better. Like that risk assessment is coming up with stay quiet when it really should be encouraging them to be bold in what they're doing.
And that's a example of what DC does to everything, right? They will overcorrect and mislabel. And then when a guy like you or a guy like me comes out and says, hey, yeah, we want to address immigration, you're a racist. That's the response, right? No, we're gonna
But it's to stop the entire conversation, right?
That's the whole point.
That's what I find interesting about Donald Trump. It really has encouraged people to talk about illegal immigration, especially the border. That's great. That's really important. And I think then the next step is to talk about our legal immigration system. Are there things we can be doing to ensure that Americans are the priority for our government and we're not just looking towards outside migration to solve all our problems?
But you can't say that because you're not Democrat. No, I'm just saying that's
exactly
wrong.
During the presidential debates here at the Libertarian Party convention, they had a conversation on immigration. Oh. Because the Libertarian Party is cut down the middle between open borders and closed borders factions.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep. And so there's one guy who's running, and I suppose by the time this airs, we'll know who the presidential pick is. But for the time being, we're recording it in the morning. We don't know. And one guy said he's for Ellis Island style immigration. And then someone else basically called him and said, you're basically saying open borders or not. And then it's open borders. The Ellis Island style immigration is the soft way of saying open borders, meaning anyone can come. We stamp their form, hand it to them, say, welcome to America. You are free to live and work and do as you please, which maybe... you go back. Here's the funny thing.
Half the Libertarian Party supports that?
I don't know if half or like,
but it's been a long running debate.
Yes, the open borders versus closed borders factions.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but the Mises Caucus won, and I believe Mises Caucus is closed borders, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I know a little bit about the Ellis Island system, right? I looked it up. It didn't work. So, in the late 1800s. They had states handled immigration to their states, and the federal government said, it's not that much. We're not worried about it. Once the number reached around 500,000 a year, they said, we need a federal way of controlling for this and tracking this more properly. So they created the Ellis Island system. People would come on boats, they'd process and say, yeah, you're good to go. This was about 500,000 people per year for, I think, 60 years. or maybe less actually. But I think I think it might have been way less than that actually. And so after this, they said, "Hey, wait a minute, we're having serious problems because the number just keeps going up. The better America does, the more people want to come here. We can't do it this way. We need to better control the system." Going back in time to the way we did it at Ellis Island does not account for the fact that you've got, at any given moment, 20 plus million who want to come here. And so I was actually talking to a libertarian guy, and I was like, I agree with Trump. Trump said, he said something like, all of the immigrants of the world, all of them, they can come here legally. You got to come here legally.
Yeah.
Legally means there will be a set number. It'll be restricted. There will be assistance with integration. But there are people here at the party who think, stamp them, come on in. Here's your ID.
I can't believe that. That just blows my mind.
This is what they're doing now. This is literally the Biden administration's plan. It's the rubber stamp, welcome to America. And you've got the black community in Chicago saying, and I quote, "We are being replaced." Kind of wild to hear that coming from Chicago.
Especially illegal immigration, but a lot of immigration that we're encouraging right now hurts people who are in impoverished situations or in inner cities. So it's not like the Biden administration is doing anyone they claim to be supporting any favors by encouraging a really broad open door policy. And I think it's ultimately this weird Band-Aid solution, right? We hear this all the time, oh, well, the birth rates are low, but it's okay because we can have immigration from other places. Not only is that bad for American culture, which I think is something like you have to live here, be a part of, actively contribute to, but it's also saying to the American people, like, we don't actually think you're that important. We'd actually rather replace you. Like, what is that kind of leadership, and why would you vote for that?
It's the new rig job, right? Traditionally, for the last 3 decades, the Democrats have gone out and bought the minority vote. And you're talking to a son of lawful immigrants whose family literally fled a dictatorship, moved here with nothing, and then did it the right way, and then watched their son rise up to work for Donald Trump, which is pretty cool. But that's what the American dream should be. That's our culture. That's what I tell people. And people are like, "Oh, you're against illegal immigration." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Because 1, you don't represent me. 2, you bought our votes when we were younger and lied about it. And now the movement, since we've exposed that through Donald Trump, is, okay, we can't buy the minorities anymore. We're going to buy the illegal vote. And that's what they're doing. This is why 25,000 people showed up in Crotona Park. It's unheard of. It's literally 99% black and Hispanic.
They booed AOC.
And they booed AOC.
Yeah.
Because you nailed it. They exposed the flank that is minorities were being bought by the Democratic Party for votes. Now they've done nothing for them. Crime is surging. And now the Democrats are replacing the minorities with illegals, not just in terms of jobs, but because they need votes, because the minorities are now no longer voting for Democrats. They're all voting for DJT.
They want a subservient, compliant voter class. And I think that's horrendous. This is something that we should completely be opposed to and expose for what it is, right?
100%.
Yep.
Well, they're taking away their social services as well, which has a lot of people in the black community kind of asking the question, why don't you kind of care about me? But it seems like every 4 years they're like, hey, we'll pander to you here just for your vote. And they keep giving it to them.
Here's the best part about this. Every 4 years, the reparations question comes up. The Democrats say, why are we getting reparations? And whenever they win power, literally it goes nowhere. It's pandering and manipulation. But now, not only are they not promising reparations, they're going to the inverse. And you got a viral video where a black man walks up to his community center, which is full of illegal immigrants, and he's screaming at the police, "Why have you taken our community center away from us?" Democrats now are basically saying, we're done pandering to you. Now we're throwing it right in your face. We don't care about you anymore. Yeah. That's crazy. They say that Donald Trump is going to get, what's he polling at, 23% in the black community? If that's true, we heard this in 2020.
Right. If it's true,
the estimates are that the Democrats cannot win if their support ever drops below 80%. If Trump really is polling at 23 and he really does get it, it's impossible for him to lose. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.